Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to look at the second book in the Allie Finkle series. So this is Allie Finkle's Rules for Girls, New Girl. So this is the second book. In this book, Allie officially moves into their new house. Her mother has completely redecorated their bedroom. She's actually happy with it. She starts her new school. Things are okay, but then there's a local bully who's female, who sits in the back of the room and who seems intent on making fun of her because they do that. And people are kind of afraid of her. Apparently there's some sort of urban legend that she sat on a 5th grade boy and broke his ribs, which again is probably unlikely. Even one of her friends points that out. So they're also approached by a group of 5th grade girls because she's walking her little brother who's in kindergarten to school, and he's dressed up as a pirate. And they think apparently it's not dangerous. They just think he's adorable. She's like, okay. She doesn't say anything how much she thinks it's annoying, but again, this is her little brother. He's in kindergarten. He's going to be about 5-6 years old. I think it's about 5. And he wants to dress up as a pirate. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. You get the introduction to the fact that they do not have an oven right now. They have one on order. It's coming, but they're not. They end up eating popcorn their first day of school in the morning because their father can't find anything. He can't find the bowls, so, or possibly even the milk. So yeah, things didn't come over quite quickly. Her mom kind of freaks out. And they're eating a lot of microwaved stuff and going out to eat because they don't have an oven. And then the interesting thing about their first evening home, her uncle comes over. He's in the university. I think he has an apartment. I don't know if he's a professor or he's working on some sort of degree. He might be working on a master's or a doctorate degree. But Dad, he drops the bombshell that her father kind of failed to tell her mother. Grandma's coming. In this case, her father's mother. Mom is not happy. She's like, the house is not done. We don't have an oven. She's going to freak out. And she later tells Allie, like, yeah, this house is never going to be good for your grandmother. So you obviously get impression that grandma is hard to please, which I just had the interesting thought. Meg Cabot must have really not liked grandmas because, yeah, you back to the Princess Diaries and you have Grandmere, who's a nightmare. So yeah, grandma's coming, and Allie's still kind of freaking out about school. The kittens, as in the previous series, the cat that she's supposed to get a kitten from is ill. She does go into premature labor. They do have a bunch of newborn kittens that are very, very small. And Allie does, when grandma's there, Allie does end up taking her kitten, and because the mother turns out to get sick and not be able to nurse them anymore. So grandma ends up helping her with that. So grandma's not completely evil. She's just not a great mother-in-law. She complains. There's a big argument between Allie's mother when they come home for lunch one day and her mother over her grandmother decided to buy them an oven because they don't have an oven, and they have an oven on back order. And her father comes home and he gets mad, and eventually her mother takes the kids to McDonald's and they get to go look at the kittens, and then they have to go back to school. And when they get back, grandma's at her other son's at having dinner with him and his girlfriend Harmony, and eventually she has to be convinced to come back because she's mad because she had a massive fight with Allie's parents. Meanwhile, Allie's dealing with a school bully who wants to kill her for some bizarre reason because she got her in trouble because this girl decided to, after she was told to pick up the essays while the teacher was out of the room, she was reading Allie's, and she got in trouble and was made to say sorry. So she basically told Allie she's going to kill her. Then there's a whole spelling bee thing going on where Allie ends up in the top 10, primarily because she's animal nut, which I can relate to. At this age, I was a complete animal nut. I couldn't spell to save my life because I was dyslexic, still am. But yeah, she ends up in the top 10, and her family comes to watch the spelling bee between the the two fourth grade classes. And apparently the spelling words involve both the fourth grade word list and the fifth grade word list. Allie does not win. She gets, I think she gets called out, but I think she's going to the national spelling bee, because she was nearly at the end. She was like one of the last two or three people. So one of her group mates, Caroline, is going. So, but it's kind of interesting, and she's dealing with a school bully, and I think the vice principal eventually tells her that basically maybe the school bully, whose father is a football coach at the university, and apparently Allie eventually talks to her, finds out she's the youngest, so basically being girly in her household is probably not a good idea. And so Allie tries to invite her over to see the new kitten, and we get inklings that the bully might want to be girly and just doesn't want to show it because she's the youngest of like several brothers, and her dad's he's a university football coach. So being more masculine is what's in her household, and she's not really given permission to be girly. So Allie's kind of, after the vice principal gave her that advice, you see some interesting character development there. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to be going on in the following books. So this is a very, very interesting book. Again, Allie is in the fourth grade. She's 9 years old. She has two little brothers. She's adjusting to be the new girl in school, dealing with spelling bees and bullies, and apparently Grandma's just a tad bit annoying. Not as bad as Grandmère in the Princess Diaries, but obviously Allie's mother and grandmother do not get along, and this has been an ongoing thing. Again, Grandma has to be convinced to come back. She does actually love her grandchildren. She tells Allie she's proud of her, even though Allie gets called out at the spelling bee, and she helps look after the newborn kitten, which at the end they find out is not female, which I could have told her because I know cats, and it was striped. It's like, yeah, no, stripes are not normally a female cat thing. You can have them, but I guessed that automatically it was going to be a boy. She wanted a girl. Turns out, yes, it is in fact a boy. Allie's upset at first, but she's like, no, I love you. You're a kitten. Because all kittens are cute. I agree with this. I have 4 cats. So, no, the calico is not in the room right now. She left earlier. So, I think she's been sleeping with my daughter lately, which is fine. Perfectly fine. My toddler is still calling for me. Okay, that's the end of this book review. We'll be moving on to book 3 soon enough next week. If you like what you see, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I will be continuing the Allie Finkle series, which is 6 books. I think the 3rd book, I think I have to do ebook. I think I have a 4th book in physical form. I try to get them in physical form when I can. But this is, because of the age range, ebook is fine. I don't like picture books. I've had rants about that. But in things like the Boxcar Children and the Allie Finkle series and the Princess Diaries and stuff, these are chapter books. They're perfectly fine in ebook form. It's picture books that I have issues with. So, and graphic novels might not be designed that well for this. And unless, of course, they're designed specifically for being in ebook form. So, but moving on. Check out the rest of the channel. I will be covering, once the series is done, I'm returning to, I've previously covered the Guardians of Ga'Hoole by Catherine Lasky. I'm going back to her and covering both her, the wolves and then the polar bears, both of which are much smaller series compared to the massive thing of the bloody owls. If you want to go check, there's like 17, 18 videos of those. Yeah, they were all shot a while ago. So if you look at that, obviously my background is different than it was then. I covered the Princess Diaries. By the time you guys see this, all of them will be covered. I'm waiting them first. The Most recent one, Quarantine Princess, which comes out this year. It comes out, I think, in a couple weeks. This is the end of March. It's on hold in my library, so that will have this background. So that will be the finishing off. That, of course, is something that was a surprise to me because, again, it's brand new. So we'll be covering that. I also covered the Notebooks of a Middle School Princess, which is connected to those series. Coming up, I'm covering, after Catherine Lasky, I'm going to cover the 3 graphic novels of the Animorphs. I cannot get a hold of the rest of the book series. The regular book series, they're not available in my library. They're not available at either pretty much any of the city libraries that I have connections to. And they're not really available. That's an ebook or physical form. There's a lot of audiobook, but I don't do audiobook. So I'm going to cover the graphic novels. So there's 3 of those out currently. Then I'm going to be going in depth with the Anne of Green Gables series. So I'm going to cover all of the Anne of Green Gables books, including the collections of short stories. I'm going to cover all 4 Sullivan films. Then I'm going to also look at the TV show that they did, which, depending on which side of the border, whether you're in Canada or the United States, it was either The Road to Avonlea or just Avonlea. So I think in Canada it was just Avonlea. So there's 7 series of that, and I'm going to be watching those for the first time since I was a kid. They aired on Disney when I was young, so they're kind of part of my childhood, so I'm going to be rewatching those. Once that is done, I'm going to the Boxcar Children, and I'm going to be covering some mystery TV shows to balance that off. So, and then we're going into the Wings of Fire series. If I'm going to balance something out with media, I don't know. I haven't gone into it that in depth yet. So that is what the plan is so far. Again, this is March of 2023. So I'm still working on 2024. So that is what is incoming. Be sure to check out the Rest channel, along with, of course, I cover Black History Month. I have a tendency to cover Irish stuff in March. January varies. This coming January I'm covering some interesting hobbies. I'm going to be looking at metalworking and glass making and some other stuff. If you're familiar with Tamora Pierce, no, I'm not covering the, strangely enough, the Circle of Magic series. That would have been a good connection, but I already covered them. So you could check out Tamora Pierce there. I have covered Circle of Magic, Circle Opens. Earlier this year, I did do the Song of the Lioness Quartet and the Wild Magic. Strangely enough, I don't have any plans to do the next, the piggybacking series of the Tortall. I may wait till 2025 to do those because I completely forgot about them. I own them, but I completely forgot about that. So those will be incoming. I will finish those books. I will not, if you're fans of Tamora Pierce, be covering The Daughter of the Lioness. I do not own them. I do not like them. I'm not going to cover them. So that's just, and I don't know what's going on with her new book series. Until it's completely out, I'm not going to cover them. I'm not even sure she's alive at this point. It varies. So I keep checking your website. It's not been updated since like the dawn of 2020. All right. So again, like and subscribe. Leave a positive comment if you have one, and enjoy.